was the summer of 2014, and for my son's bar mitzvah present, just like many Jewish parents, we wanted him to bond with the Holy Land. Oh, it worked perhaps too well. My husband had stayed back at the hotel, and our friends, my son and I, had just stopped in a pharmacy.
Run to the bomb shelter, sweetie. Please hurry. I didn't hear the sirens at first, but the Israelis did. They're used to hearing these things. We ran to the back of the storeroom. It was a 12-foot by 24-foot windowless bomb shelter. My heart's pounding. Boom! Boom! I hear it and feel the percussion of the exploding bombs. I'm trying not to get sick. I look at my 13-year-old son and I think I'll never forgive myself if something happens to him.
That's an excerpt from a speech I gave to the Orange County Jewish Bar Association. It was the first, but not the last time we had to run to a bomb shelter. Our adventure and my transformation is also the subject of my book, Blasted from Complacency, A Journey from Terror to Transformation in Israel. There is no chapter in a parenting book on what to do when a war starts and you're on a family vacation. Think touring extraordinary and sacred sites mixed with cowering in bomb shelters. I'm still trying to get over the Jewish guilt of taking my son to war for his bar mitzvah present. The impact of being human targets helped me understand the plight of Israelis living like this, and it also made me want to work on peace. How Israel is often described on the news is not what I'd seen with my own eyes. And I felt Palestinian parents also preferred their children playing safely in their backyards. The missiles exploded just near enough to blow apart my world as I knew it, forever changing me. And you'd never recognize my life today with what it was like then. I believe I found my life's purpose. So, hello and welcome everyone to our third broadcast of Peace with Penny. The first two broadcasts were about Israelis and Palestinians who work on peace. The first recording with Israeli Shaul Judelman is posted on my website at pennyst.com under Podcast for Peace with Penny. The second recording with Palestinian Nora Awad will be posted soon, and I'll announce it on my Facebook page when it has been uploaded. I've been learning how to do hearing impaired titles, so it's been taking a bit of time, but it should be posted this week. I thought we'd take a breather from the Israeli-Palestinian conflict with a lighter but no less interesting way of working on peace by getting to listen to Lior Aizenberg, the founder of Chess4All and Chess4Solidarity, who gets together Israelis and other countries, including 5 Arab countries, to play chess. By the way, some of you may not know that chess is often considered a sport. Why? I did a little research and found out that it's considered an official sport by the International Olympic Committee sport accord in over 100 countries because of the following 4 reasons. Chess entails significant physical exertion. I guess that's your brain really gets a workout. Chess is a highly competitive discipline. It has a long history, tradition, and clear rules, and it's purely a skill-based game. So now let me tell you a bit about Lior Aizenberg, who is founder and director of both Chess4All and Chess4Solidarity. With over 20 years of experience running these chess organizations, Lior has proven himself not only a chess expert, but a defender of Israel beyond his time in the IDF. We'll be discussing some very interesting stories of how Lior made some defensive chess moves, not on a chessboard, but defending Israelis in chess championships against countries that had boycotted their participation. Thanks for joining us, Lior. It's great to speak with you.
Thank you very much. It is an honor and a privilege. Thank you, Penny.
First, we'll get into some general chess questions, some of Lior's background personally, tournaments for folks who are unfamiliar with competitions, and then we'll talk about my favorite subject, peace, and how Lior has paved the way to defend Jews in Israel against anti-Semitism and anti-Zionist attacks. So since chess is a sport, Lior, is that why there's an association with the Olympics?
Well, it's not an Olympic field, chess, but there is a progress in of people and the authorities and the sports governing bodies that understand that chess is like sport. You have similar lines, I can say. It's not physical, but you have to be in good fitness. You have to practice with trainers. You have to think about your health and your energy in your body, because to sit also 5 or 6 hours in a match, you need your body except of your mind.
Yeah. I also found out it's interesting that although Israel makes up less than 0.2% of the world's population, of the first 13 undisputed world championships, over 50% were Jewish, including the first two. I was impressed to learn that Jews had such an impact on chess.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah. Lior, what's your personal history with chess? Did you grow up playing?
I grew up at the age of 12, something like that. I was at my cousin's house, and he told me, "Okay, what do you say about learning something new game?" Okay, chess. We played backgammon many times. My grandfather was from Iraq, and in Iraq they are playing a lot of this game, and I started to play chess, and I liked it. Of course, the age of 12, it's quite old to start learning chess and being, getting to the highest level. But I was quite good, and I was participating in many national championships, and of course, from that I became a teacher at the age of 14.
Wow.
Yeah, and I had something like 10,000 children that I was teaching in my career, more than 30 years.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
And my club, Chess4All, is an activity for something like 1,500 kids every year that are learning, that are competing, and we have different kinds of activities and events as we spoke about. And I like chess as an habit, of course, and I like to play. I love the game. I think it is an educational tool, and it's very good also as sports. But also we can put added value in chess by also doing so many events that are bringing a message to people, not only as the game is himself, but also we bring something different, and really it's growing quite fast all this year. The online
Sure, with COVID, huh?
Yeah, with COVID and the Queen's Gambit. Okay, the Queen's
Yes.
Gambit made a huge impact of something like 1,100%. There is an increase. Chess.com, which is the most popular platform, they are saying we have increased in 1,100%.
It's good to hear. It's good to hear for once some businesses thriving instead of having problems. That's wonderful.
Yeah. But the problem is that the over the board activity is, there are restrictions in Israel and all over the world. So people are not playing over the world or over the board, just online.
Right.
So we have problem in the chess community of kids that are learning, and they have to learn now through Zoom. For some of them, for the young generation, it's quite difficult all the time with the Zoom, and they have also classes in Zoom, and
Apparently for some of us older folks too.
yeah, yeah, but you know, we are trying to adapt
Yes.
now to this situation with the COVID, and we have a great we can reach people from all over the world. We don't have borders with the internet,
Right.
and the world is becoming more smaller to us.
Yes. You also have adults play as well, don't you? Not just
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah, of course, of course. We have adults. We have competitions. We are doing many competitions. I can add that 3 hours before the restrictions in Israel last year, it was Purim, and we had an event, the last event that was very big in Israel with 232 players. It came for the memorial event of on Ziv Hajbi, a great person that was killed in the Barkan industry area just because he was a Jew, and he came to work and he didn't come back to his family. Great family. We know the family. His son is studying and playing in our club, and we did a memorial. It was so moving to see all the family and many people coming to this event. And 3 hours later, Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister, announced that, okay, until 100 people, this was the start of the restrictions because the COVID. It was at the 12th of March last year. It looks so far away from us.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot has gone on since then. Unfortunately, not so nice. Do you give when you have tournaments? Do you give prizes for those?
Yeah, of course. We want also to raise prizes also for our players. There are grandmasters all over the world, and also in Israel we have more than 40 grandmasters that are playing chess. Some of them are doing it as a profession, and we are trying to raise prize funds to every event that we are doing in order to support these people that are also, you know, they are the face of Israel when we are coming to international events, and they are representing Israel. So our club is trying also to support in this way also the professional chess players.
So I understand that you've had, and I've seen some really incredible opening ceremonies. At times it feels like the Olympics, and you've had celebrities. Can you talk a little bit about that? That's been really interesting.
Yeah, it's also one of the advantages of Zoom and the COVID and everything that we had many politicians that are greeting in our events. They were just entering Zoom 5 minutes. They don't have to drive to somewhere, you know, far. Just opening Zoom and of course greeting everybody. About the Chess4Solidarity events, the initiative. The politicians love it, and the celebs. We had the Arik Zevi, we had the opera singer from Finland, Angela Klaas, and we had a tennis player, the legendary Nicolas Lafenti, and we had Arik Zevi, the judoka, who won, is a medalist, and many, David Broza, the singer, greeted in Spanish. We had an event with Spain. So it's great that everybody is greeting, and the events are getting to also to the public because of that.
Yeah,
And
I wanted to mention you lightly touched on something that you taught me about chess, about how young you have to be able to eventually get to such elite status. Can you talk just a little bit about that? Because that just
yeah.
fascinated me. And then the tournament you had involved even younger people. That was really
Oh,
cool.
yeah. I started at something like 2003 to organize an event, national event of under 8. People were saying that I'm nuts. How can you do a national event to kids at such a young age? And at that event, there came 130 kids, and it became a tradition. And after a couple of years, I told the Israeli Chess Federation, okay, let's move on. Let's do something unique that was not done all over the world. Let's make a national event under 6 years old. Okay, so there were also 60 players that came. Every year we have a very talented bunch of guys that are playing kids under this age, and everything is now starting at a very young age. Also, kids are starting to learn languages, and chess it's excellent for kids in kindergarten in order to calculate how many points you are getting if you eat the rook and the other side is eating your pawn or your bishop, and it's great for the thinking abilities.
Yeah. Yes. And yeah, values too. Can you talk a little bit about that? The values in chess that get taught?
Of course, about concentration, chess is to concentrate. And when you concentrate and the kids are sitting and thinking, and they love the game, so it helps them in many ways, in math, in many things, in schools. There are many surveys that we can see that kids that are playing chess, of course, the IQ, the increase of the IQ, and of course the performance in their grades in school. So it's becoming more popular each year all over the world that chess. There are chess lessons in schools, and it's great that people that education teachers and people understand the advantages in chess.
Wonderful. So you have two organizations. One is Chess4All and one is Chess4Solidarity. Can you explain to me what the difference is?
Yeah. Because I'm running this my club Chess4All for almost 20 years, and in the last couple of months, people are saying to me, Lior Aizenberg from Chess4Solidarity.
Yes.
We have Chess4All. This is the club, and the initiative is called Chess4Solidarity. Chess4Solidarity, the initiative is there are two purposes for this initiative. First of all, solidarity between people from all over the world that are under restrictions and they are playing now from one country with another country. If we played, for example, even though we cannot enter two people, 10 people in one room, we had 173 players playing from Israel and from New Zealand, even not at the same day, because in New Zealand there is the gap hour.
You're right.
We played Saturday night, they were at Sunday morning. Okay, and
Oh, interesting.
yeah, it's great. It's bringing inspiration to the people. Okay, so it's very important for the mental how you say uh, health, for the mental health
Yes.
of people, that you should do something unique. When kids are playing, for example, for the first time with Sudan, okay, with Sudanese chess players, we had almost 400 people, and it was before the agreement, the announcement of Trump of that
Really?
Israel done. Yeah, it was one day before,
Oh,
and yeah, it was the first time that we had event with Sudan, and there were many incidents in the sport history that Sudan chess players or athletes didn't play against Israelis. So people feel that we are making history here. Okay, so it's great, and
yeah.
we are trying to do, yeah.
Go
Sorry.
ahead. Sorry. No, go ahead.
We are trying this in this year to do some unique activities. For example, I managed the IPCA, the World Championship for Disabled. Okay, the Israel Chess Federation was organizing it with IPCA. It is the organization of disabled chess players, and there were chess players that are disabled. They cannot move out even from their houses, and they played. And they played. And there were 125 players, and we see
Wonderful.
that. Okay, we will do it next year for sure, no matter if there will be COVID or not.
Sure.
So it's bring opportunity. Also, for example, last week there was the memorial day for the Holocaust.
Right.
And there is a very great guy, Chaim Arbiv, which lighted the torch in Herzl Mountain this year. He was playing. He's a Holocaust survivor. His age is 86 or 87, and he played against six kids in order to remember the 6 millions that were killed in the Holocaust, and the gap between them was something like 80 years between the players and between Chaim Arbiv, and they had a Zoom, and he was talking about his story. You know, such a huge gap. We cannot get to this situation without the COVID. Okay.
Yes.
So there are nice things that are coming up because of COVID.
So you have had, I believe, 5 tournaments with Arab countries. Is that correct?
Yeah. Online we had 5 events.
Which countries participated?
We had players from Lebanon, from Iraq, from Syria, from Algeria, from Tunisia, from Sudan, from Morocco, of course. We did a special event after the agreement, the relations agreement between Israel and Morocco, and of course Egypt, Jordan. We had also a couple of players from the Palestinian Authority.
Awesome. That is definitely something you and I have talked about that I'm hoping that we'll make arrangements for in the near future.
For sure.
what gave you the idea to have used chess to help normalize relations with countries?
Well, you know, my story started at the end well, of course, also in the 10 or 15 years ago, I did events between Israelis and the kids from the Arab community. We had a couple of coexistence events in Israel between schools from the Jewish community, Jewish sector, and the Arab sector. But what really happened that was really influencing my life was, of course, what happened at the end of 2017, when there was a chess competition, a world chess competition that was held in Saudi Arabia. And at that time, I was the spokesperson of the Chess Federation. And of course, I thought that it is unacceptable that a championship will be held at a place that Israelis will never, there's 98% that they will not get there. They will not represent Israel in this event. And
can you talk about that a little bit more? Because I don't think people here understand what that all is about.
Yeah, at the end of 2017, FIDE, which is the governing body of chess, decided that the World Rapid and Blitz Championship will be held at Saudi Arabia. They had a contract with a big prize fund of something like $2 million to this event. It was something like 400% comparing to the event that was a year before in Qatar. So they signed the contract of that the Saudis will organize the event for 3 years. Okay, every year that this event will be in Saudi Arabia. Of course, it's unacceptable because what is happening with the Israelis? So I tried.
Well, I'm sorry, can you go back?
Yeah.
What, again, people over here aren't familiar with what that situation is. I know that you've taught me for 32 years that they were boycotted and had problems, even as much as they excel or me. And part of it is probably for self-defense so that they don't have to play Israeli players because they're so good. But that's, joking about it. There was no joke that they were boycotted because they were from Israel and Jews. And can you talk a little bit about that? Because I'm sure a lot of people here don't understand that.
First of all, let's talk about the background. There was the decision of the Arab League at something like 1946, before the Israel was reestablished, that they are boycotting any Jews or anybody that is related to Jews or to Israel afterwards. And it is also in sports. It's going like this for ages, more than 70 years, that some Arab countries are boycotting Israelis. And also I found out after this all the event, I tried to find out and to look what was happening in chess. And I saw so many events of discriminating Israelis. Israelis didn't play with their flag in couple events. There was one time that a very talented chess player won the first place. I think it was in Turkey. Marcela Froimsky won over there, and they didn't put the national anthem of Israel. And it's annoying. And There were events in Libya, in Tunisia, in Iran, in places that you know from the start that Israelis will not be able to get there. And you cannot say, okay, Israel have problems with Arab countries, so that's life. No, it's not okay. If a country is hosting a world championship, she should accept everybody,
Yeah.
or it is not a world championship. Okay.
Yeah.
Players and athletes and chess players, of course, they have to play. This is their rights. We are talking about civil rights. And if you try to use chess as a tool in order to delegitimize Israel, it's not okay.
Right.
Sport and politics should not be mixed together. And
Yes.
yeah.
When you say they couldn't get there, you mean they weren't allowed to get passports. They wouldn't accept them into their country, correct?
Yeah. Of course, there was a huge case at 2004 in Libya. In Tripoli, there was an event with Gaddafi and all his reputation. You cannot believe that anybody can do a world event over there, and of course, Israelis didn't play, and also there was some guy, a grandmaster, that was holding an Israeli passport. He was living in Switzerland, Vadim Milov, and they didn't let him enter Libya. At the last minute, they told him, "Okay, you can play," but after that, it got to the CAS. The CAS is the highest Supreme Court of sports.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy lost, and it was very bad. And I saw all what is happening also in the regulations and in the Swiss law, because FIDE is working under the Swiss law. She's is located in Lausanne. Okay, so I tried to after the boycott, which the Saudis even didn't respond to the request for visas. They didn't respond. They didn't say no. They just didn't respond. We are not the chess players. There were 7 chess players, and I was supposed to go with them in order to be there for the first time in the history of Israel, to go to Saudi Arabia, to put our flag and to play over there. It was really annoying to everybody, also to me.
Of course.
Nobody wants to be boycotted, even though I know it's not personally, but it brings it to the point that you understand. Okay, you understand that even in Israel you are protected. Okay, we are in Israel. We are feeling protected. We are feeling that okay, nobody can reach us. And if you see, for example, comments anti-Semitism in the social media, I see Jews from the diaspora, how they react comparing to Israelis. And Israelis are saying, okay, they can talk whatever they want, they can do whatever. We are here, we have a strong army, we can defend ourselves, but about what we are talking in sports, for example, we should fight back. We should not allow anybody to do such things, and every sports governing body should understand what is happening, and that's why I went also with many campaigns, and there were many events, and the media liked all this battle against the discrimination, which there was couple months after the event. In Saudi Arabia, there was another case about Tunisia. Okay, again,
With
another
Liel, huh?
where yes, with a 7 years old, a champion, very small and very talented, Liel Levitan, which won the European Chess Championship in Poland, and she got the invitation. And in the invitation, you see, it's written Tunisia. Okay, of course, you know from the start she will not be able to get there. So I started campaign. I was fortunate to meet many Jewish organizations, many people, activists, officials from the Israelis, offices. That really it was touching, but that people understood about what I am fighting here. And I did campaign also. Nathan Sharansky helped, and Stand With Us did a large campaign, and there were petitions and there were letters, and suddenly chess was not under the radar. And Tunisia and the FIDE at that time was, wow, what is happening here? After the Saudis were getting cold water in the face after denying our right to be there. So Tunisia said, okay, we are not boycotting anybody, but at the time that the event was supposed to held in Tunisia, okay, it was shifted to Turkey because Tunisia was not able to say, yes, we can give a 7 years old child and other Israelis chess players to compete in this championship.
It wasn't that they weren't able, they chose not to.
They chose not to. Yeah, it's sad. It is sad, yeah.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. I listening to you, I just envision you in a superhero cape, you know, working so hard to set the score right. So whatever happened with Saudi Arabia and these countries, what's the situation today? Has it changed?
Yeah, of course. First of all, FIDE is now, there were elections in FIDE, and we have, there is a new president, Dvorkovich, Arkady Dvorkovich, and he brought many professionals that are running this organization. And they understand the right of everybody, not only Israelis, everybody to play. About you know, not doing such things even for money. This is something that they don't accept. And of course, after 1 year after the event in Saudi Arabia at the end of 2017. At the end of 2018, there was an event in Moscow. The Saudis were supporting this event, and Israelis were able to compete in that event.
I mean, that's fantastic because you know it didn't have to go that way because like we were saying, for 32 years, Israel has been not allowed to do different things, their people. And so thankfully, finally, you really did an incredible service to not only Israelis, just people in general, to, if they have to be forced to open their hearts, so be it, but at least to allow people to be more on an equal footing with the others. I understand there was even something with Israeli disabled swimmer participating in Malaysia that happened as well.
Yeah. I had a petition of almost something like 6,000 signs were about the participation of swimmers, paralyzed swimmers that were supposed to go to event in Malaysia, and again the event was shifted, but not because of me, because of many organizations, and of course Israel, and also the sports community don't accept the idea of boycotting anybody in these days. Okay, and chess was just under the radar because it was not Olympic, and of course what happened at the end of it, that the event was shifted to London from Malaysia, and it is going like this also in judo. We see that in judo we are seeing that Iran was suspended from all the international activity, and also in chess. Also Iran here is now under the alert of being suspended if she will continue to boycott Israelis in world events.
What are you trying to do about the fact that many of the world and European championships are scheduled for Saturdays, which obviously poses a problem for Jewish participation? It seems like a subtle way to discriminate. What is anything happening?
I think it is not a discrimination if there is a problem when there is a chess championship. It is held for something like 12 days or something like that, and every day there is a match. So I think that also in chess and also in many fields, of course, people have to understand that the Shabbat is unique. It's unique among all the Christianity and the Muslims and the Jews. So it's a problem. We have some problem with a couple of chess players. Also, one of them, very talented boy, his name is Yair Hoffman, is from my club. And last year, for example, we found somebody that sponsored him. He was not able to play in European event and in world event, and because of the Shabbat. He's an Orthodox, and you cannot say to him, okay, you should play. He will not play. This is the situation. So we are trying not to force, but to talk with FIDE and the ECU, the European Chess Union, in order that, okay, they will change at least one match that will be in a different time than in Shabbat. You know, we had we are now in 2 years of not 1.5 years are not we are not playing international events. There are not international events, and I hope in the summer we will see what will happen. If you can manage also that chess players that are coming from that are Orthodox that will able to play, there is something. There are something like 10% from the champions in Israel that are Orthodox, and we need to take care of them.
Interesting. I would imagine to do a tournament online can be difficult when you're worried about, any other interactions with other people other than the person who's playing and all that. How do you protect against that during a tournament, or is there any way to do that?
What do you mean about protecting from?
Well, obviously when you're playing in person, you
Mhm.
can see there's nobody talking with the person, telling them something,
Okay.
but when they're at their house, somebody can
Yeah.
slip them a note or so, I don't know,
No,
whatever.
they can use their background. They can use computers, but of course there are anti-cheating system in any platform now that people are playing in tournaments and such, and also there are arbiters in Zoom that are seeing what the player is doing, and they are trying to that everything will be honest and without any problems, and most of the time is okay. People are not trying to cheat, but it is something that you have to be aware of it, and but it's not the same like over the board. The activity of online events, it's not the same, even though there are competitions with world champion Magnus Carlsen, for example, is playing, and all the best players in the world. But it's something different from the regular championships that are held face to face.
What's been the reaction from the different countries that you've set tournaments up with, like in the Arab countries? What was the reaction of having their people play with the Israelis? And is this a government thing sponsored, or who do they come with their players and you come with your players? How does that all work?
First of all, the initiative is people to people. Okay, we are talking about events that are between Israelis and other chess players that are coming from other countries. So we are working with organizers that are working on the online platforms, and they have teams, and they can bring players to play. And in the platform, you can put your flag if you're playing under the Israeli flag, or from with another with their flag. And of course, there is a prize fund, and they are playing the best players from each country. And the reaction, I can say that we had a problem. We had a problem of in one country that there was a call for a boycott. There was a bold call for boycott. Everybody not to play with Israelis, but we managed, and people are playing, and people, from the end of 2017, I'm getting the reactions of, this is sports. There is no connection to the relations between countries. This is our language. We are playing chess. This is our habit, and let's move forward. And I'm saying the same. Let's move forward. Of course, I would like that there will be peace between Israel and their neighbors. Will be great. All the Mediterranean area, but about when we are talking about chess and sports, okay, we have to. These are the rules. Everybody is playing together. Otherwise, it's not sports. If you're changing pairing, and if you're doing tricks like that in order to avoid the matches between Israelis and the Arabs, so we had, it's quite unique for me to see the reaction, very supportive reaction from a lot of players. A lot of players are. I have through the WhatsApp. I'm chatting with players from Iran, Sudan, Algeria, Tunisia, and it's great. Some of them are also calling. Okay, we will not play against Israelis, but many, there is a change in after the Abraham Accords and all the agreements. Also in the Arab countries, there is a change. People are understanding, okay, it's great. See what is happening with the Emirates. Everybody is getting the benefit from this peace agreement.
So I know in talking with the Israelis or Palestinians, in the West Bank, when they're working on peace, they can really get a lot of negative reaction from their neighbors. Why are you working with them, and so on and so forth. It doesn't sound like you got that, or do your friends or family or neighbors get mad at you for trying to expand chess and with your Arab neighbors?
No, I don't think so. I think everybody believes in the situation of coexistence, okay, and we have to have relations. No matter what will be the decision at the end of one country, two countries, so everybody believes, first of all, they want peace. Israel is seeking for peace from the start of the establishment of re-establishment of Israel. We want peace, but we understand that we have to fight back, and we have to have a strong army in Israel, and of course about chess and sports. It's a situation that we are playing, and we want also that this will be the first step, and we are feeling that this is only the first climb. We are climbing here, okay? And the online creates the ability to have the relations, to get in touch for the first time. And from there, we can bring to other activities, also meeting together after the COVID, of course. And of course, it's a new period for Israel, for sports, and for the relations between the countries. We call it, the people are calling it also in the media, chess diplomacy, like the ping pong diplomacy, and it's really great. It's great, yeah.
Did anything surprise you when you were working on the international tournaments? If you have any stories about, I don't know, from people's reactions of the experience, since you were saying it's player to player, did you get any comments from the players about the experience for them personally? Did it change their mind in any kind of way? For instance, to play with Sudan or Morocco, what did you get any feedback from them about what that was like for them after all these years?
For the Israeli, it was historic. It was quite historic. We found out, for example, with Sudan, we had something like more than 300 players were registering in the last day of before the event. It was huge amount of people. People were feeling, okay, we are doing here something really historic, not only for chess, also for sports, and we are getting very support. There's support from officials from the Israeli governments and celebs and Jewish organizations and people from New Zealand, Jews over there are reaching out and they're saying, okay, well done. What you are doing here is something that It is extraordinary. And we are using, of course, the online platform, that we don't have borders, and not every government can use her power in order to force people not to play against Israelis. And we are making these events also with Arabs, and as you know, we are doing these events also with other countries. We did 13 events, 8 of them were also country to country against other country, and it is strengthening the connections between countries. This is our way with chess. We do that, and it's going great until now.
I just wanted to say, since we are in the United States, you've had a number of events in the US as well, correct?
Yeah, I had one. I had one with the
just one?
Yeah, but the second one will be the number 14 of the Chess4Solidarity initiative, will be held on the 28th of February.
Oh, it's
Sunday.
coming up.
Yeah. It's really great event with many players, and we have a very high prize fund of $2,000. We are getting each time to higher level, and it will be great. Between something like 300 players will play, something like that.
Yeah, I would recommend to anybody to go on your website and just look, at least for a while, to a competition, because I was quite surprised by it. It did remind me of sports. We were just watching the Laker game last night, and you know, the announcer and you have an announcer, and he's going over the chess moves, and I think he would call. Yeah, comment, and that he would say, "Oh, there's a bungle or something," as far as a mistake. But he'd get so excited, and he'd go back and you know, because there's, you know, during a tournament, there's several sets of players going on, and he'd go back because of the electronics. He had the abilities to see the different moves that had been made, and his excitement. You know, it reminded me of Chick Hearn. You know, he's getting very excited about the different moves, and to somebody unlike myself who understands chess, it still was very interesting to watch all of the things that were going on, because you know, I plead total ignorance when it comes to this. I mean,
It came up on the last year. In the last year, the Twitch, we are using Twitch, okay, and we broadcast the events, and we are doing it in a couple of pages also, and our commentators are doing it and also putting videos about Israel and the other country.
Right.
Public. It's a soft asbara, you say in Hebrew, but public diplomacy. It's public diplomacy that we are doing here in order to promote also Israel, and to show nice stuff about Israel. Not only to see that what is happening in Israel, you know, what is going on in the media. Of course, people are seeing different things, different videos about Israel and Ecuador and Bhutan and whatever. So also the commentator is getting to people that see chess as an event in their houses, and it's great.
Yeah, it's I like I said, I was surprised. I you know, I hadn't had the opportunity before, but do very many people watch it, other than maybe the relatives of the people who are playing?
Yeah, you know, something of 10% from the population, something like that, know how to play chess. Okay,
Mhm.
so it's quite new, all the broadcasting of chess, and
Mhm.
Facebook. It's a great platform in order that people will see that. We had an event for example, with Ecuador. We put it on Israel Un Español, that they have more than 500,000 viewers, and. And with Bautan
Uh-huh.
event was completely something extraordinary.
Mhm.
We had broadcasting in Israel, in the United States, in Bautan,
Yeah.
and in India at the same time. So it is great to chess that people can see it, and it's more visual. It's bringing chess to the public.
Yeah, I know I noted that there were all ages, and just like
Mhm.
what you're doing right now with your hand on your chin, and
Yeah.
they're concentrating so
Uh-huh.
hard, you could see all of their
Uh-huh.
brain involved trying to
Yeah.
figure out what their move is
Yeah,
going to be.
you know, it's the same like if you play over the board and you're
Uh-huh.
concentrating. The level of the games, it's quite high. It's different because you're using your mouse, and you're not using you use your computer, and you are not playing on the board, but the level is very high, and the world also in chess is changing. And after the COVID, people will continue to play over the board and online, and many people are playing. They like it.
Yeah. So, if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat. But for my last question is, if you were speaking to the people of the world, what is your dream for chess and Jews in Israel?
First
What?
of all, I want my dream is to build a large community of chess players from all around the world that will play together, first online, but afterwards they will play face to face in world events. This is the message to any players, to any player that, of course, we want to compete. And in this period of time, every chess player have, of course, the advantage that he can play at home, and he can, of course, what is happening outside, the restrictions. There are people that are playing every day, all day, you know. So it's also great. For our club, of course, we would love to expand this initiative, and accept that. Of course, we want to get back to the boards, and to do many events, and hopefully we will succeed in our mission also to uh, to connect between people.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lior. That was terrific. And it was a great conversation. And I know I learned lots about the game and chess and working with you and your work on peace and beyond. Like I said, in my head, you have a superhero cape on with all the things that you were able to accomplish for Israel and for the world, opening it up. I wanted to let people know that I'll be posting the recordings on my website, pennyst.com. It's TEE, like my last name, as soon as possible. As you know, this is a new video podcast, and so I'm learning as quickly as possible how to do all these things. I want to mention that next week, well, we have quite a schedule of different people. Next week, I'll be interviewing Bilal Arar, who is a Palestinian 25-year-old who's finished college. I really was anxious to hear from someone young. We see on the news this age group, and just wanted to hear from his perspective about peace in the area. And to our listeners today and those listening to the recording later, thank you, and may you live in peace, shalom, and salam.